Darkcast Network. Welcome to the dark side of podcasting.
Okay. I wish we had a drum roll noise.
I can do a drum roll. Gordle's like, what are you doing right now?
That's pretty good. Nice. We're confusing him. We're being cryptic as fuck. Oh my god. Okay. This is weird. Also, just in the Neat Cast, they just did their 150th episode.
We don't need to do a special. We don't need to do our regular intro. We can just say, hi, welcome to a special episode.
Yes. Can we?
We can, just like our Patreon. It's Lucy, it's Goosey.
It's true. I'm surrounded by goosies. Goslings. Sometimes the little babies. Yeah, if you guys are here, you probably know we're castles and cryptids.
Yeah, hope so.
And if not, well, there you go. You got it from the title.
Yeah, you have 149 episodes to go back and listen to before you listen to this.
Or you're just like, I've listened to everyone. Oh my god.
That was so loud.
And the mic just picked up Pat screaming because we must have scored because it's hockey playoff time. So, woo! And here I was like, we need like a drum roll or like air horns. It's episode 150. Whoop whoop whoop.
Yeah.
We made it. We weren't too sure. I remember you were like, some of them don't make it past 7 in like episode 7, and we were like,
yeah.
It's like, we did it.
Or do it for a year or so. We've been at it for what, 3 years now?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, happy 3-year podiversary, that which we kind of glanced over this year. I don't know. Yeah. I just haven't been on the ball with any
Me neither.
Of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. We know you guys are celebrating us because we still have our loyal listeners that listen every week, and we appreciate you. It's the reason we keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be a little bit of a fun one this week. We're gonna maybe do a little bit more loosey-goosey, like you said, like some things we would normally overdo over on Patreon.
Yeah.
That hot stuff behind the paywall. No.
Yeah, here's a sneak peek on what you're could be missing out on.
Yeah, some people do that. And you know what? It's such a tease too, where they like play half of a story and then you're like,
ooh, that's mean.
Yep.
Let's start doing that.
Not like a full case story, but like an Am I the Asshole or something. You know what I mean? Like I know Sinisterhood would do that. Would be like their best of Patreon. They'd put out like a 30-minute episode, and then I'd be like, oh, I need to hear the rest of this.
Shit.
And I have joined their Patreon. It's really good. Anyway,
it works.
We're supposed to be advertising ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes, it does work. No, I think so. Mr. Ballin does it too. He'll start telling an extra story. Or no. Maybe I'm thinking of Let's Not Meet. There's a few people that do little teasers, and then they're like, join on Patreon for more kind of thing. And you're like, damn. But yeah, this one, I had fun when we did 2 Truths, 1 Lie, scary stories on our Patreon.
Yeah, it's been a while since we did this.
It's true. We only did it like the once, but they could do it more if people like it.
Yeah, we'll see. We have some other stuff planned, but we'll see how long this gets, because mine are kind of long. I didn't mean for them to be this long, but...
Your 2 Truths, 1 Lie scary stories are long?
Kind of.
Oh!
all together, and I was like, damn, we had other stuff planned.
So we play half the episode and then we're like, join us on
Yeah.
Patreon for the rest.
Maybe.
Oh God. They're like, okay, you guys are desperate for patrons. No, but I did say I was gonna tell you a story just before the podcast.
Yes. Something about, was it Gordo?
Oh shit, was it Gordo that made me think of it? I think so. Oh, pet cam. Because
Yes,
you were
that's what
trying
it
to
was.
set up
Yeah.
a Gordo cam.
I will figure it out, and then maybe the 151st episode, I will have figured out how to set up my phone at like the right angle to catch
Yes.
a full episode of Gordo shenanigans that we can like fast forward and release.
I would watch that. No,
So
because like
everybody
on
can,
Spotify now, you can have the video episodes too. So I started listening to Creeps and
yeah.
Crimes today, and then just their like, YouTube video version starts playing on Spotify, and I'm like, oh yeah, if I can watch people, I will. So it's just like our whole episode, but it's just like focused on Gordo's face instead.
Well, it would be on fast forward. It wouldn't have like the audio for the episode.
No, I'm
But
saying we overlay it. Like, so people go to listen to our episode on Spotify and they get the audio, but if they want to watch the video, it's just Gordo.
it's just Gordo.
It's just whatever Gordo was doing.
Yeah, it's just my hand reaching out to throw him across the room.
Well, the way they reach their little paws under the bathroom door and shit, why not?
Yeah, right now he's being pretty good. He's leaned his cute little head against the wall, and he looks like he's gonna settle in for a nice nap, so that would be nice.
With his giant lap.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was a this was a little listener write-in conundrum story I heard on the podcast called We're Here to Help, it's Jake Johnson from like New Girl and stuff like that. He's Nick Miller.
Oh, okay, yeah. I like him. He's funny.
And his co-host is his comedian friend Gareth. Probably blanking on his last name right now, but this other guy that apparently was in New Girl as Bill the security guard in like one season, and that's his whole that's the way they tease him, that he's been on New Girl as Bill the security guard or something.
Nice.
But anyway, people like write in their little like listener thing. They're like, they want advice on something, so they like call in with their problem or whatever.
Nice.
And so this one chick is like, I got to pet sit for some friends of mine, which was really nice because I had a lot of roommates at the time, and so it was nice to have some like privacy to just go stay at this person's house and like watch their animals or whatever.
Yeah, like house sitting.
Yeah, to me, I think that's the ultimate, like, people trust you and they will let you sit in their house for a week. I think it's a very flattering to be asked to house sit. I've watched some cats for people and it was cool. I don't know. I didn't stay there, but I might have if I'd have been single. Who knows? Hang out with the cats. But then so she's like stayed there. It's like a week. Looking after the pets, and then she's on like one of the last days, and she said that she's been enjoying herself quite a bit since they've been gone. Basically, she's been using the extra space and time without roommates to just kind of go to town masturbating whenever and wherever she wants in their house.
Oh God, no. I can see where this is going. Yeah.
So then she's like on their like couch or whatever and notices a red blinking light and is like, ah!
On the couch? Okay.
Yeah, she said she was like, she was like happy.
I know, but that's not your couch.
Oh, there's such a good discussion about, do people do this? Is the cat sitting there watching you? Because it turns out it was a cat. It wasn't, I thought she'd be like dog sitting or something, but because like cats don't always, anyway, need you that much. And she was definitely playing with the pussy. So she like sees the camera and I guess she like throws it out or something. And then like has not spoken to them since they returned because she was just like made to leave the key or whatever, and I guess friends that live out of state or something, so she just like
Well,
hasn't talked.
throwing out the camera is not going to help because clearly it's hooked up to one of their phones. That's how pet cameras work. You don't record your pet and then check on it when you get home. You have the camera so you can check on the pet in the middle of the day while you're at work.
Yeah, so if they were checking in, they would have
Mm.
already seen it. And if they didn't, then they might have been a little suspicious when they come back and their camera's gone, but she doesn't know because she's never talked to them. And she's like, do I just let this
Damn.
lie? Or do I just pretend it never happened? And they're like, I think you kind of almost have to, unless you just somehow bring up, how's the cat doing or something like innocuous.
Yeah, depending how long it's been, like, since she essentially ghosted them. Wow.
Yeah, I
Damn.
don't
At least do
know.
it in one of the bedrooms.
It's quite the predicament.
So many people have pet cameras. Like more and more, most people I know that have pets and stuff that everybody
Yeah.
works or is at school, they have a camera. So
Yeah, it can be very helpful because you get a new pet or something, or you just don't know how
yeah.
they're going to be in the house when you're gone, and so you have to monitor them. But yeah, they didn't tell her about it, obviously, beforehand.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty funny stuff like that on that show. If you guys
Wow.
have any conundrums you want
That's funny.
to write to Castles and Cryptids about, I will not judge you and give you the best advice I can. Because I just find that stuff hilarious, but I do not hold any judgment. I'm like, what do you do when someone's not in your house? If you're not snooping through their stuff, I mean, that might be arguably worse.
I'd be
Maybe.
messing up their Netflix algorithm so fucking bad.
And you
I'd
would
be
mess
like,
it up
so
because
what's in
you
your
make me watch things like Baby Reindeer.
And I'd be like, what's in their PVR? I'm gonna watch. What kind of shit do you watch? That's my
Ooh,
snooping. I wanna know
that's
what you
fun.
watch.
Do you
Yeah.
have any porno channels? Yeah. I want to know
Right?
all the things you subscribe to.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
funny.
So good. That's why I love
Damn.
the Am I the Assholes and stuff too. They're just so juicy.
Yeah.
I know. I'll let you know. I'll binge the rest, and if there's ever an update on that one, I'll let you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like he kind of laugh it off, whatever. I'd find out whether or not they saw something and then just be like, I am sorry. And if they can move past it, like if they aren't uncomfortable if they
Yeah.
saw anything, then I'd say fuck it. And if you really liked hanging out with them and everything, start hanging out with them again. Like why lose a friendship over that?
Yeah, that's the part I was not clear on because she said they were like lived out of state or something. So I'm not sure how often she actually saw them on a regular basis. Because
Weird, but enough to like let
yeah,
her watch their house. Huh.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Should she admit to the wanking? Cop to it, as it were.
Yeah, it depends how long it's been. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
been too long that it's like, how do you just randomly bring that up? Been like, so on the
Right?
holidays, did you guys check the pet cam? Or
I think I might have accidentally knocked it over and broken it. I'm so sorry about that.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's weird they didn't ask her about it after, too. But, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they saw something and are like, okay, we're just not gonna say anything to her.
Which, I mean, I could see that because a lot of us are just too polite to talk about things that are uncomfy like that. Oh my
Like,
God.
hey, our camera and on so and so's phone, because like my Ring camera, it saves stuff for 6 months. I think I can go in and physically delete it, but it saves it automatically for 6 months, and then it'll
Yeah.
like record over it. So, I mean,
Yeah, you could accidentally record yourself on so many
right?
security devices nowadays, I think.
Yeah,
Oh boy. I love it. I didn't know you had a
yeah.
Ring camera. Okay. Sponsor us. No.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Send me some more outdoor cameras for my backyard, for my garage. That'd be nice.
Mhm.
I will gladly shout out Ring.
Right. Um,
Funny.
yeah. Other than that, I don't know. I have not been up to much. Listening to podcasts and prepping for this episode, and then it's weird not being like, okay, I have more notes to do or whatever. So then I just put on
Right?
a TikTok.
Right?
And I used previous notes and was like, I'll talk about this cannibal fairy I talked about before because I already have notes on her.
Nice. Yeah.
Easy peasy. Yeah.
Gordo, you ran away and now you're back. So quickly. Jeez.
The cat came back the very next day.
Can't stay away.
Thought he was a goner.
Wow.
Wow.
Jesus, buddy.
Gordo Cam!
Oh. Just wants
because
attention.
then we wouldn't have to
I'm
edit
busy.
anything.
I'm
And
busy.
hear the noises and people watching are like, oh, there's Gordo.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
again, get
Do
into.
you want to go first?
Yeah, I can.
She's our first girl. She goes first.
Yeah.
I'm our final girl. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't want to die first.
I'm sorry. Okay, I did read the final girl support group though lately, so maybe my brain was just.
I think you mentioned that to me.
Yeah, it wasn't
before.
bad. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, this felt like watching a Scream movie or something. It was great.
Cool.
And I also got one about old ass lady killers that are like assassins that are now being
Ooh.
targeted by their assassin group. I know. I was like, these are actually quite similar because the final girl support group was like, oh, we're girls from the movies from like the 80s, and you know, it was like
Okay.
instead of Texas Chainsaw Massacre or someone, it was like Pennsatucky fucking meat market or something.
Oh.
Instead of Leprechaun, it was like fucking Gnome Patrol or something. I don't know. One of them was set in Canada. Like it would just be a little bit off the real stories, but then
Not as nice of a ring to it.
no, it was funny. It was funny. It's it's satire,
That's
whatever.
good.
It's tongue in cheek, and then it's like
Yeah.
they're older now, so it's like, oh, if someone starts coming for them, what are they gonna do? Because like it's like Halloween when like Laurie's Strode is older, right? And she's like,
Yeah.
"Fuck you, Michael! Enough this shit!" Like
Yeah.
it's that
She's
kind of
setting
vibe.
traps instead of just running away screaming.
Exactly. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have 3 stories, and we'll have to guess. Like we said, it'll be 2 truths and a lie. So, 2 true stories, and then one that's like made up, like creepypasta kind of thing.
I love this for us. I
So,
think it's so fun to guess these ones.
yeah. My I'll tell you at the end where each of them came from because I don't want to give anything away. So, the first one goes. My grandmother grew up in the slums of Prohibition era Chicago. Her family lived in a small house near the harbor, and one of her earliest memories was of a particularly hot summer when, seeking respite from the heat, she and her sister discovered a seldom used section of boardwalk near an abandoned warehouse.
Ooh.
That sounds great. Woohoo!
Okay.
Every
Penny
night.
Dreadful.
Yeah. Every night for several weeks, the 2 girls would make their way down to the docks and sit together on the edge of the pier as the sun went down. My grandmother vividly, and for a time fondly, recalled the feel of the seaweed beneath her toes as she and her sister dangled their feet into the murky water.
Damn, details.
Yeah. It wasn't until years later that she returned to the pier and found that the warehouse had been demolished. Curious, she made an inquiry with the Department of Planning and Development. Apparently, the warehouse had been owned by or owned for a time by the mob, who was using it as a base of operations for a local prostitution racket. It had
Oh,
only been
bars.
uncovered when an associate began disposing of rival hookers by feeding them with concrete shoes and dumping them into the harbor.
Oh no,
Investigating
this is Al
officers.
Capone's territory.
Yeah.
Well, Chicago, like he ran that shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Investigating officers had recovered nearly 2 dozen bodies from the waters of a secluded pier nearby. How had the bodies been discovered? A passing fisherman spotted some of the victims' hair floating near the surface of the water, like seaweed.
ooh, ooh.
So the idea is that her grandmother and her sister that would go dip their feet in and play like with the seaweed between their toes. It was actually the sex workers' hair that they were.
Oh, it was actually that,
It
not
was
just
their
like
hair. Yeah, it was not
mimicking
seaweed.
that. Oh, I thought that was
No,
just like a poetic, like, oh, it reminds them of the seaweed.
no, it
Damn.
it was actually the woman's hair. Yeah.
Yuck. Remember when Wine and Crime talked about some mausoleum thing that like looked like it had the person's like dead black hair coming out the side of it, like through the cracks? It was so very the
Oh,
like ring shit.
I don't remember that.
I'm
Sounds
sure it's probably
creepy.
on one of yeah, probably like one of their like gossip at the corpse cart episodes where they talk about um
Probably.
gross news and yeah. All that shit.
Uh,
Okay. Hmm.
yeah. So that one's entitled Seaweed. I can tell you the names of them.
Oh, that wasn't too long. Okay.
No, my other ones are longer. That one's the shortest.
Some of them are long. Okay, fair.
This one is title says I've lived with a ghost my entire life.
Their entire life.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I've been
Okay.
living in a house that is very haunted for the better part of 53 years. I guess you can say that I grew up there and I lived here my entire life.
Okay.
And I've made a happy home for my wife and daughter here as well. At least we try to make this a happy home. We've experienced things that are so bizarre you'd almost think that we were crazy for even talking about them. Never mind the things I've heard and seen in this house while growing up. While I would love to talk about everything that has happened here, I would like to tell you about how it all started for me when I was 7 years old. It's actually
Oh,
the
let's
very
hear it.
first incident that I encountered while living here. The house was built in 1875. It's been remodeled throughout the years to keep up with modern times, but it still rests on the very foundation it was built on. This
That's old.
house, yeah, very old. This house, as I'm writing this, I can hear footsteps creaking above me on the second floor. This is an all-day thing, but I've learned to live with it.
Oh my god.
Well, growing up here and being the only child, my parents knew about the house being haunted, but they tried to shelter me from it. Meaning, if I heard something strange, my father or mother would say something to the likes of, "Oh, honey, those damn pipes again. We need to call the plumber." I
Right.
can't.
It's an old house. It's settling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
creaky
it settling
stairs,
for like
yes.
140 years, though? I
Right? Some
think it's
noises are
settled.
just weird.
Yeah. Or if there were footsteps creaking on the floorboards, they would blame the flooring for being very old. I would hear scratching all through the walls and ceilings, all sorts of strange and bizarre sounds. But this incident, this day, changed everything. And I remember this day, or rather night, as if it happened yesterday. It was around 11 o'clock at night, and it was a school night, and I was asleep, but something woke me up. I heard a voice whisper in my right ear, "We can't let them get away."
No.
Right? That's creepy. I don't like the whispering right in your ear thing.
Oh, anything when you're sleeping is not good.
Right? Yeah. My eyes slowly opened and I laid there for a moment. I called out for my mother and father and looked over at my bedroom door, but it was still shut. I flipped over to my side and fell back asleep. I heard this voice loud and clear. I know I did, but I think my brain was telling me to ignore it. Well, that was just the beginning of it, because a few moments later, it decided to really stir things up with me. Boy, help them, they're burning alive.
No,
It's creepy.
that's dark and specific.
I jumped out of bed so rapidly and even peed myself as I ran to my parents' bedroom. My parents both looked at each other and then looked at me like they knew something but didn't want to tell me. They gave me the old mumbo jumbo and told me that I was having a bad dream. My mother got out of bed, got me fresh pajamas and socks while I cleaned myself up. Peeing yourself at
Socks?
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he sleeping in socks? No. It's not important.
Peeing yourself at 7 years old isn't fun, especially when it's a raspy old scary voice shouting that someone's burning alive in your bedroom while you're sleeping.
Yeah, man. Wait, there's a connection here. My mother always said, play with fire, you'll wet the bed. In his dreams,
Yeah.
someone's playing with fire. Oh my god. This is weird.
My mother asked if I wanted to sleep with her and my father in their bed after that. You bet your ass I did. I hopped in that bed quicker than a fox chasing a rabbit. I was a small boy for 7, and both my parents were average size too, so I fit right in there. Alright, here's where it gets very, very scary. If this doesn't scare the socks off you, I don't know what will. And before I continue, the voice that I heard, I think it's the original owner of the house. Without giving away too much information about my home, the very first owner of this home, he was an evil man.
Oh.
Yeah. We've heard stories about him torturing animals, killing them, and even taxidermying them, scattering them all throughout the house like his own little museum of horror.
Okay.
Throughout the years, I would experience more voices, more scratching on the walls and ceilings. Eventually, my parents wound up telling me that the house was haunted by a creepy man with an evil past, and we lived with it. We were never physically harmed by it. It was more of a nuisance than anything. That all changed on the night I brought my wife home and began a life to begin a life here with me.
Okay, so obviously the parents moved out at some point.
I think so, yeah. They don't really say, but yeah, I would assume.
Okay.
We're high school sweethearts, and she knows about the place. She stayed here overnight plenty of times before we got married, and on the night she moved in, it wasn't happy at all.
Mm-mm.
I'll never forget the hour and minute. It was 2:27 in the morning. We were both asleep. My wife woke up first because she felt something tugging on her arm.
Ooh.
She then woke up and told me what she felt. This was the first time in all the years anyone has ever been physically touched by this spirit.
Ooh.
This has never happened before, so it was quite a shock to me.
Gross.
Right? Tugging you on your arm.
Yeah, that gives me the little shivers.
Yeah. And after being awake for about a few minutes or so, our bedroom door slammed shut. Our blanket was pulled away from us and thrown across the room, and we heard heavy footsteps as if someone was walking across the roof.
Oh my god.
Right? It was as if the house was coming to life. In all my years of living there, I've never seen this much activity, yet alone on one single night.
Yeah, that escalated like quickly.
Yeah, like you said, it's not happy the night she moves in.
Yeah, especially the image of a blanket being ripped off and then like footsteps
Very
banging.
like it's
Yeah.
very like Paranormal Activity. You know,
Oh yeah.
they're dead asleep, and you just see the blanket slowly sliding off the bed.
Always
Fucking
pulling
shivered.
the damn blankets,
I
or they're
hate it.
under the fucking blankets.
I
And then you
hate
open it
it.
up. Oh, is that the Grudge where they look under the blankets and it's like the little kid with the black hair and the black eyes? I think that's the
I
Grudge.
can't remember. It's creepy.
Oh, awful.
After the blanket got pulled away from us and thrown across the room, things finally seemed to calm down, and the entire house was ominously quiet. Too quiet. But then a dark shadow decides to grace us with its presence by moving along the walls in the bedroom and fading into nothingness. My wife and I did not move from the bed during all of this. We were terror-stricken. And then a foul odor begins to come from underneath the bed, followed by a sonorous growl that vibrated underneath us.
Oh. And was there a dog under the bed? Is it the growling and the
I
noxious
don't know. I don't think they
gas?
talk about any pets.
No, I remember when Fen used to crawl under our bed.
Yeah, when he was little.
Well, and when he was an adult, and then we just had to like block it because we're like, you're too fat. If you're having to scrape the carpet on your
Yeah.
sideways ass to get out from under the bed, you don't fit under the bed.
Gordo does that to the couch. If he pushes
Really?
something he's playing with under the couch, he'll wedge himself under there, and then I'm like, buddy, that's a tight fit.
You don't fit. Oh
Yeah,
no.
you don't really fit here.
Can he
Um,
get back out?
yeah, it just seems like it's a struggle. And I'm like, if you did this too much when I'm not home, like, fuck, you'll just be stuck here the rest of the day.
Well, yeah, picture like Fenn's head would come out and then his two front legs, and then they'd be
Yeah.
like swimming on the carpet,
Yep.
scraping it to pull his fat ass body out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like,
Uh,
the bed thing hangs down. Like, I think he has more room once he gets under there, but yeah, getting out
yeah.
was the problem. Oh man. Yeah.
Um, by this point, it felt like something grave was about to happen and I had to do something, or at least I had to try. I grabbed hold of my wife's hand and told her to be brave and not to fear this thing, because that's what
Oh,
it wants. It
okay.
wants to scare us out of our home, and we can't allow that to happen. But we mustered up the courage to face this evil spirit and began reciting the Lord's Prayer.
Hmm.
Uh,
Sometimes it works.
yeah. The bedroom door slammed again and again, 4 times consecutively, with steady growls underneath the bed, but we stood our
Hmm.
ground, praying to the Almighty to help and asking Him to show this spirit to the light. A raspy old voice then shouts from underneath the bed, "Get out! Leave my house!" And I
Ugh,
said, "No!" I said, "No!"
damn. Well, sometimes people just put their foot down and the spirits are like, all right.
Yeah. No, if you're stuck here like you've been all these years, not years, now you're gonna have to learn to live with us in peace or war, because this is my house now, not yours. You're dead. Leave already. Go with God and go into the light.
Damn.
Uh,
She told them
right?
or whatever.
After 10 minutes of praying and arguing with this thing, it all just seemed to come to a pass. I wiped the tears of fear from my wife's eyes and embraced her painful shivers. I too was frozen over by the horror that leveled us during that night, and nothing of that magnitude ever occurred again. And our house stood silent for a while, for a year to be exact, which was very peaceful.
Hmm.
The
For a
noises and
year.
scratching on the walls and ceilings, footsteps and disembodied voices eventually returned, but it doesn't bother us at all. We pay it no mind. It
Oh,
doesn't bother my daughter, nor my wife, nor I. We've just learned to live with it. I know that must sound strange, but this is my home, our home, and we intend to keep it that way.
okay. No, it doesn't sound that strange. It sounds like stories I've heard before. I just
Yeah.
wonder what made the activity spark up and down. I don't know. Just like
Yeah.
someone moving in the house. Yeah, they often say like renovations to a house can spark up paranormal activity,
Yes.
changes like that.
Yeah.
So,
When
hmm,
something's at rest, it can
yeah,
be disrupted by renovations and like,
yeah.
yeah, disturbing it.
New people
Um,
coming in and out. That's why I kind of wondered if like they're like I said, I assume the parents moved out, but that's just, I guess, more of Western culture, whereas there's other, cultures where it's more typical to like live with your parents instead of having them go to like a retirement home or whatever.
yeah, you have like 3 generations in one house.
Because it was the all in the family home, he said. So that was interesting.
Yeah, he lived there since he was at least 7, and then
Yeah.
now he has his kids there.
And the parents were
Yeah.
like, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
nothing.
Um,
Damn.
all right, my last one. Oh, hi, Gordo. Hi. Hi. Just
I'm
grabbing
giving
my arm.
my own title for that one is House of Horrors. Okay.
Ooh, good title.
Because I'm trying to figure
Um,
it
this one you can call, what would it be?
out.
You could call it the hotel room. The third one will be
Ooh.
called the hotel room.
Okay.
All right. Says my fiance and I were in Nashville touring wedding venues.
Ooh.
Afterwards, we visited Broadway and checked out the bars and live music, and we were both a little tipsy. We called it an early night as we had to drive back home to DC the next afternoon and went back to our hotel room around 7 p.m. We took a nap,
Okay.
then, yeah. We took a nap, then around 9, we ordered takeout and ate in the room, talking about the day. Our hotel room was set up a bit oddly. The front door opened into the sleeping space, and past the bed was the living room, separated by protrusions coming from the wall. So I guess a little weird. Normally it'd be like a living area and then kind of more of the sleeping area in the back.
I'm very bad at visualizing layouts of things.
You used to be a travel agent.
Oh yeah, you're right. There's like, okay, so it's a one room.
So
It's not a
yeah,
suite.
so I think
Or you said
it's
there is a
got like a
living
half
area.
wall, it seems. Like kind of a little bit of a like a half wall or like a divider at
Okay,
least.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I've seen those in like Vegas hotel rooms. Yeah, but maybe
Yeah.
like come in, there's bathroom on the right, couple of beds, and then after that, a little bit of a couch area. Okay, yep.
Yeah, so a little different. My fiance went to sleep and I stayed up for a bit scrolling on my phone. I didn't know what time I eventually went to bed, but at some point in the night I woke up on my side facing the living room and I felt like I was being watched. I opened my eyes and there was a shadow person tucked into the protrusion separating the rooms. I felt like they were staring
No.
at me.
Ew,
I've
so like
had
crouched?
I think it just means like
Tucked
they're in the
in?
corner, like just like tucked into the corner, like the back corner.
Either way,
Um,
I hate it.
yeah, right? Fuck. I felt like they were staring at me. I've had paranormal experiences before, so I wasn't immediately terrified. I would be. Oh my god. Uh,
Maybe they've had some good ghost encounters, yeah.
yeah. They were about 5'7" with shoulder length curly or poofy hair. And then it says in
Oh.
quotes, think the silhouette of Sirius Black.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
He had curly shoulder length hair. Okay, okay.
Yeah, he did. Was that Gary
Specific
Oldman,
again.
right? That was Gary Oldman. Sirius
It
Black.
was. I read he
Yeah.
said something. There was some clickbait that was like, he said he didn't do his best acting or couldn't watch himself or something. It was
Oh.
like, it was clickbait. He was like, just because I said it wasn't 100% my best performance or like I didn't love it 100%. If I wasn't like that, then I would never grow as an actor. He's like, I always have something to criticize. It was kind of like that, kind of,
Yeah. Well,
you
he
know.
also wasn't in the movies a whole lot. Like, out of the whole
No.
grand scheme of 9 movies, he wasn't in it a lot, so.
Yeah, he probably has more time to get to know his other characters a little bit more deeply that he's done.
Yeah.
But I think he did
Um,
great. I love Gary.
yeah. I acknowledged them and told them that they could stay if they were respectful and minded their own, and that they would be or that we would be out of their space in the morning. I rolled
Oh.
over, hugged my fiance, and went back to sleep without incident. You turned your back on the shadow figure? I'm
Oh,
sorry. Fuck that.
that's tough.
uh,
Yeah. I can't see the monster. It's not there. It's a tactic. I
right?
don't know.
Ugh.
What are you
No.
gonna do, I guess?
We checked out of the hotel, got breakfast, and hit the road the next morning. It was pitch black as we were driving through mountains when my fiance said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you about this dream I had last night." He
No.
proceeds to tell me that he was dreaming that he opened his eyes and there was a figure standing over
No.
him, nose to nose, almost inspecting him.
Ew, that's even closer than the one she
Yeah,
saw.
the
I thought
dream
that was
then,
gonna be bad enough.
right?
God.
Yeah. The dream then shifted, and he was now watching himself and the figure from a third person's perspective. He said that he saw the shadow figure was mirroring him, and when he moved to get around it, it mimicked him and blocked him so he couldn't get to me and he couldn't get away.
Ew, that's gross. I don't like the
Yeah.
mimicking.
No, it's like they're
Oh.
gonna replace you.
Ugh.
Um, my heart was pounding when I asked him what it looked like. He said it was hard to tell because there weren't identifiable features. They were a shadow, but they did have distinctly poofy hair that reached to its shoulders. I was shocked. I told him that I had never planned to tell him what I had seen because I knew he got uncomfortable when I did that kind of thing, and I thought it had left us alone.
Damn, what is it with these skeptical guys that I always hear about in all these stories?
Yeah. But then I told him how I had seen the same figure in the corner of our room. We were both shocked, and needless to say, we did not go back to that hotel on our wedding, planning trips to Nashville. So,
Oh, right.
like,
It was a wedding planning trip. I wonder what hotel it
yeah,
was.
I don't
Hmm.
know. Yeah. So there's
Ooh.
my three stories.
Ooh, okay. That
Um,
is tough. Two truths, one lie.
so there's the seaweed, there's the
Yeah.
haunted ghost house, and
The House of Horrors.
then there's the hotel room. Which one do you think
I
could be fake? Dun,
mean,
dun,
the
dun.
details on the third one, I think, are really selling it. How like they're going for their honeymoon. It's Nashville, and
Okay.
it's very like specific, but it's super freaky. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, if that's true, that's fucking scary. So then I'm like kind of torn between the first two and the burn them all and all that, or whatever that freaking little guy was saying in the second one was pretty freaking scary too. Almost
Yeah,
too
that the
scary.
voice was like
Yeah.
yelling.
I'm like, is that too much like a movie that that's the lie?
Mm.
Because also the first one had like some movie qualities too, but it was very short. So I was like, that could be easy to come up with. Okay, I'm gonna go with two. I'm having a hard time. So I'm gonna go with two is the lie.
It's true. It's true.
That's scary. That was a scary one.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, okay. Is it number one? Or am I totally off
yeah.
base?
It's number
Okay.
one.
Okay. I was like, the third one is like so full of details. I'm like, this person is
Yeah.
good at lying if that's not true. Okay. Okay. They're
Yeah.
both very creepy. And like,
Yeah. They are. I was really happy when I found them. I was like, "Ooh, these are like actually creepy."
yeah.
I was like, "My true stories are creepier than the creepypasta."
Exactly, because some of them do sound so just because we've looked these up a couple times and I've listened to, Let's Not Meet podcast and stuff and the
Yeah.
Reddit stories and like, yeah, sometimes the fake ones are kind of easy to tell and like, I don't know. You're like,
Yeah.
ooh. Like I remember when we did the ones for Patreon, I had one that was like okay, I think I told this one it like ended with like there was a family in the driveway and then the family was inside the house and I was like, did I tell that one? I think so.
I can't remember. It's been a while. It's been
It
a
has. I just
while.
was looking through my old saved ones to try and not tell the same ones that I did for
Yeah.
the Patreon.
Yep.
So I
I
was looking
knew
through
I
my like
hadn't done
Reddit
these.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, those were pretty good. It was hard to tell. It was hard to tell what those ones.
Yeah. I'm glad. I tried.
I have to go pee first.
Okay. We will take a quick break.
Well, all our longtime listeners will definitely know that recording a podcast is not always easy.
No.
Nope. So you better believe, like when we find something we like, that we're gonna probably stick to it and not look for anything else. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love Zencaster. Uh, when we tried it, we were like, okay, finally, I wanted to have the video and it's what up to 4K video, which is
Yeah.
pretty effing cool. I can see every pore on Kelsey. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope not.
But it's a great video and like just really easy on this one. So like once we stopped recording on our phones, I was like, yeah, this is the one for us. So even though sometimes our computers fuck up, it always comes through for us in the end because we've never lost like a recording, knock on wood, and every time we've had to use it, it's just been really great and really easy, and everything's just recorded when we wanted it to, which is, it's a lot to ask for when you podcast as much as we do.
Yeah. It's nice that each of us has our own separate audio recording that you can download and edit. So it makes when one of us is
Not us.
doing something or has something, it's easy. You can edit that out even with the other person was talking because you have two separate tracks that you can edit. Yeah, it's one of the reasons we love Zencaster. Definitely, it makes it a lot easier. And the audio quality is also a lot better than any of the other programs we tried using in the past.
Yes, it is the best. So go to zencaster.com/pricing and use my code Cryptic, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan.
We want you to have the same easy experience as we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
Keep it cryptic.
Huh? You gotta be chill, boy. Okay? Be chill. Can you hear him purring?
Oh no, he's too far away from the mic at the moment, I think. Oh yeah, I caught it that time. Not quite as loud as last time. That was so funny. I was like, oh.
Yeah. We're gonna listen to some scary stories, but only I will be able to hear them.
Some more scary stories for ya. And then we'll see. We might have a guest appearance by Pat. Let's see how the rest of this playoff game goes. It's got like 5 minutes to the end and we're down by 1, so it's tight. Stupid Dallas. Anyway. Okay. All right, this one, all mine, I'm going to read their title.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. There's always
a couple of mine I
had
had to give a title, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to call this.
Yes. I may or may not have been tempted to even write one myself. I'm just going to leave that out there.
Ooh.
Then you might not even know.
Yeah. Been like, oh, surprise! An Atlanta original.
Because it's hard. Anyway, I usually just hunt for mine on Reddit. I'll just say that. But there's ones where they post, real stories and not real stories. So you can't really.
Mine were from like BuzzFeed and Reddit and Creepypasta. I was like, okay.
That's right. I forgot about BuzzFeed. This one's called I Don't Know What to Think Anymore.
Ooh, okay.
So if people do like read a lot of Reddit, I mean, maybe this will give it away, but hopefully not. Hopefully they don't know this. I think that happened to me on a podcast earlier. I was like, I've heard this.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm going to tell you this story of Slender Man. You're like, yeah, I know this.
Yeah, it was maybe because I listened to Let's Not Meet with the true horror stories, like more true crimey, and then the Odd Trails, which is the one that's more. And I was like, wait, I heard the story on Reddit.
Yeah, I've read this.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't even remember. I thought it was creepypasta. Who knows? With the internet, maybe we don't even really know if these ones are real or not.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so this one starts with, "Hi everyone. I'm pretty disturbed right now and I don't really know who to talk to, so I decided to post here." I don't remember how long this is. I'm going to hope it's not terrible. "I recently moved into a new house, an old building from the 1920s located in a quiet neighborhood. Okay. Everything was fine until I started noticing weird things. About 2 weeks ago, I saw a man hanging around my property, It was late at night and he seemed to be rummaging through my trash cans."
Gross.
Yeah.
And creepy.
Yeah, who are you, the cops? You trying to learn something about me or just...
trying to get my DNA?
Ooh. At first I thought it was just someone lost or a homeless person looking for food, so I didn't pay much attention. But things started to get more worrying. One night I saw him through my kitchen window just standing there staring at my house. He was wearing dirty clothes and had a blank look on his face, almost like he wasn't really seeing what he was looking at. I turned on the outside lights and he ran away quickly. Since that day, I keep seeing him sporadically. Sometimes I find footprints in the mud near the windows or objects moved around the house.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah. Once I even found an old shoe half buried in my garden, like someone tried to hide something. The worst part is that I started hearing strange noises at night, scratching at the windows, light knocks on the walls, and indistinct whispers that seemed to come from outside. Okay, that's reminding me of your second story.
It's creepy, though.
Yeah. I called the police several times, but every time they arrive, the man is gone and they don't find any traces of him. My friends think I'm paranoid and that I'm imagining things because of the stress of the move, sorry. But I can't help feeling like there's someone, really someone watching me and trying to scare me. I'm starting to doubt my own sanity. Sometimes I wonder if I'm imagining all this, but the footprints, the moved objects, and the noises are real. Has anyone experienced something similar or have any advice on what I should do? And then they're just like, any help would be greatly appreciated. And it breaks my heart. I need help. Nobody believes me around me.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay. Sorry, I'm just deciding if I want to read those in the same order as they are on my screen.
Right? I did the same thing. I was like, what order do I need to do these in?
Should the right answer be A, B, C, or D in the multiple choice?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay. Next one is called The Bridge. I think this one might have been a little longer. Let me see. If I have to paraphrase or abridge some, I will.
The abridged version of The Bridge.
Yeah, and the subtitle was based on experience I had while backpacking in Bali. Enjoy. And then they started with a quote. Like, you're a writer. You need to write a book.
Yeah.
There are horrors. What?
I said, yeah, they're a writer.
Yeah. Quote, there are horrors beyond life's edge that we do not suspect, and once in a while man's prying calls them just within our range. H.P. Lovecraft.
Wow. Okay.
Damn. Sorry. Many cultures believe that fortune is in the eye of the beholder. It can take the form of many things: power, money, fame, even love. But if my travels have taught me anything, it's that life is all about balance. Where there is fortune, misfortune lurks. And no, that's not some new age mantra I picked up at a yoga retreat. It's the law of the jungle. I sized up the Balinese rental owner and gave it to him sternly. 100K per day, take it or leave it. No, mister, 200K, good quality bike. He gestured at his collection of Honda scooters looking worse for wear.
Sorry, I just shoved Gordo away.
Here comes the cat taxi. Yeah.
Yeah.
150K, I countered. Final offer. He shot up a deceptive smile and shook my hand. As he sifted through dusty paperwork, I knew I fell into yet another upselling scheme. But this rickety motorbike rental was the only one for miles, so I gritted my teeth and slid him the money. I would be terrible at, like, bartering for anything. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard, especially in a country you're not familiar with, because you don't actually, you might not have a firm grasp on the cost of stuff or like the exchange, so you don't
the
really
customs,
know.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think I remember somebody in one of the Outlanders telling one of the modern women, whether it was Claire or Brie, like, oh no, you don't say, like, you don't say what the favor is you're gonna ask for. Like, they just owe you a favor. She'll let you know when the favors come, the right one. Okay. Oh, he rises. carpet alone. Can you lay down, buddy? There's no snakes, as Dad would say. You don't have to rustle the grass. In the distance, rain clouds were rolling in above a muggy Balinese morning. I found myself in a rural area with rows of rice fields spread out in all directions. This was the Bali I wanted to see. Sit down!
Sit down and shut up!
I feel like being like, Gordo! I'm like, oh, Fenrir!
Yeah, right? It's your turn. Yeah.
Sit down. Yeah, now how are you going to back out of there? Because you're such a fatso. You're going to not go for my tripod. Are you going to go out? I think you want out. Bye-bye. Oh, the owner guided my scooter along a dirt path and handed me the keys. Swasiatsu, I said in my awkward American accent.
Awkward Canadian American.
And then bowed even more awkwardly. The man stood stiffly and curled his lips. Judging by his reaction, bowing wasn't customary in his culture. I flashed him a sorry I'm a dumb tourist grin and hopped on the bed.
Nice.
I fashioned he probably has, speaking of Canadian American, he probably has a Canada flag pinned to his thing.
Probably.
He's American. Too funny. And with the breeze on my back and boundless adventures ahead, I spent the next hour zooming up and down the countryside. But as I was making my way to a temple in a remote part of the island, the scooter began to sputter. Then it gave 3 jerks forward and died. Shit, I spilled on the side of the road. I assessed the damage and grimaced. The bike refused to start. Of course, I got ripped off and he gave me a lemon. Why did I expect anything different?
Yeah.
I kicked a dirt mound far into the field and stood there weighing all my options. The road was empty with no signs of anyone around. Then, as I blocked off the sun and squinted, a lonely village revealed itself just beyond the rice paddies. Thank Christ. I trudged in that direction, dragging my scuffed motorbike on one end. The area itself was beautiful. There were green, rolling hills and sounds of a nearby creek, and fluttering of sparrows could be heard. That's what I mean. There's a lot of descriptions sometimes.
Yeah.
There were also penjor everywhere, tall decorative poles that signified the welfare of the Balinese people. That makes me think of totem poles, so I'm not quite sure, but
it sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds so nice.
I know, I wish as a podcaster sometimes I could be more descriptive with my words, but
yeah.
Not always the case. So then they see something that wasn't as nice, an old bridge just outside the village, cracks lining the worn gray stonework and unkempt vines twisting around its columns. It was an ugly piece of architecture and curiously the only place without a penjor. Beep beep, a villager on a scooter honked before crossing the bridge. Moments later, another motorist approached and before passing, he too beeped his horn. I stayed for a bit and noticed that whenever someone crossed the old bridge, they would use their horn even if there was no one around. Sorry. All of a sudden, on the other side of the bridge, a far-off figure was walking clearer into view. It was a woman in a red dress, long and flowy, with her side ponytail cascading just beneath her shoulder. She seemed distressed, like she was searching for something. Beep beep. Beep beep, Richie. Another motorist drove by and broke my gaze. When I looked back, the woman was gone just as fast as she appeared. Thunder cracked in the distance and heavy rain began to pour. I hurried into the hamlet and came inside the first warung I saw. A warung, or an Indonesian eatery, serves delicious food day in and day out. The one I was in was no exception. The smells wafting out the kitchen made my mouth water, so I ordered, charged my phone, and waited out the storm. The warung owner and her teenage daughter smiled at me as I ate. You could tell they didn't get many visitors in the village and were curious about my being there. "Mister, you from where?" the mom asked. "I'm from USA," I smiled back. "Saya, dari America." The daughter tried not to laugh at my pronunciation. "Where are you heading?" she joined with much better English than I expected. Ramayana Temple. Have you heard of it? I grabbed my phone and showed her the location. I was on my way there, but my bike broke down. Bolts of lightning flashed across the dull skies. Yes, Ramayana Temple, sorry. 3 kilometers from here. But she placed a finger on the map. From here is faster, only 2 kilometers. I looked at the shortcut she proposed. There was a
Through
narrow
the
road.
creepy forest that's haunted, probably.
And behind the village and through the old bridge.
No! There's bridge trolls! There's trolls!
Jenga to Jenga, something. The mom said to her daughter with traces of fear in her voice. They exchanged a few more words that I didn't understand. Pardon me. Before you go to bridge, you have to use, she tried to find the right word. Your horn? Yes. You have to use horn 2 times before you go on bridge. Very important, 2 times. The same fear in her mother's voice was in her quivering eyes, and I realized she was serious. I saw some people doing that when I first got here. Why do you have to use your horn like that? At this point, the mom seemed visibly spooked and wanted no part of this. After more claps of thunder, the daughter added, There is woman outside our village. She lives under bridge. Sorry, I just thought what you were saying.
She's a troll!
Yeah. But she is not really woman. She is... Her mom interrupted us by giving me the bill. She tried to fashion a warm smile, but her lips couldn't stop shaking. Something really got under her skin. Not thinking much of it, I finished my meal and called the bike rental. After the rain let up, they sent over a mechanic and got the rust bucket running again. Thanks again for the food. I waved goodbye to my friendly hosts and rode off. The rain had been reduced to a light drizzle, and fog began creeping down from the hills. It was eerily quiet on my way out. I whipped the scooter around the bend, and there it was again. The old bridge, but much closer this time. I stopped to inspect the menacing structure. The fog covered much of the vines now, casting the appearance of gangly creatures writhing around in the mist. But it was all in my head, of course. I didn't care much for third world superstitions and had no intention of using my horn. So I laughed and drove forward.
What? No!
I'm like, okay, I get you're like a skeptic. But like,
you just do it.
Oh my god.
Now he's asking for it.
Yeah, talk about
I have no sympathy
to the wind.
I have no sympathy for whatever happens next.
It costs you nothing.
No.
After riding around for a while, I realized 2 hours have gone by, no signs of the temple anywhere. No signs of anything, really. Only dense jungle on each side and fog that seemed to have no end.
Ooh, because he didn't honk. Ooh.
The mist.
He's stuck in a parallel universe.
How could I have gotten lost? The road only lead in one direction. I was following it to a T, it says. I kept riding, and finally a fuzzy shape in the distance poked out of the fog. There it was again, the old bridge. It was bigger, more daunting than before. I hopped off in search of the village, but there's no trace it was ever there. Only me, the fog, and the bridge. Suddenly there was a woman. She sat on the ledge, weeping gently and looking down at the water. Her red dress was soaked and her hair was left in a disheveled mess. Like seaweed. No.
Yeah.
Are you okay, miss? I called out, walking closer and closer. The air was impossibly still. My heart pounded and I was covered head to toe in cold sweats. Finally, I went to tap her shoulder, but before my hand could even reach her, she snapped at my wrist and pulled me within inches of her face.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a ... like end up, you know what I mean? Like between chapters, but it's not the end. I don't remember much after that. Kids from the village found me in pretty bad shape after I left the Warung. Apparently, I ditched my bike on the side of the road and sat on the old bridge staring down at the water. When they found me, I was muttering the words Mana Anak Saya like a madman. Sorry. The kids took me to the Warung owner and her daughter. Like the angels that they were, they cleaned me up and offered me some food. After a bit of convincing, they told me the full story about the woman in the red dress. Decades ago, on that very bridge, a little boy was killed by a careless motorist. His mother was so grief stricken that she hurled herself off the bridge to be with her son. Nowadays, people passing through will always honk twice, even if no one is there, as a sign of respect to their spirits.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, and Mana Anaxaya means, where is my son?
Oh.
To this day, I couldn't tell you what her face looked like. The events that happened are a big blur, but every now and then, just when I think I'm safe and warm in my bed, I'll see pale, putrid eyes looking down at me with so much sadness, and they never look away.
Oh, that's creepy.
That's number 2.
Huh. Interesting.
Right. Yeah, sorry, I think that was the longest one, maybe.
No, I like that.
Yeah, I think I got some. Yeah, it was fun doing this the second time. Because I was like, oh yeah, I remember animatronic Pennywise. But then I was like, let's go, let's see what else is out there.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Yeah.
that.
And that was the true one. Spoiler alert from our Patreon. They're haunted animatronic Pennywise that
Yeah.
moved or something.
Yeah. I remember that.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. All right. The last one is called I Didn't Know My Roommate Had Been Dead in Her Room for 10 days.
What? Well, that gives everything away. Don't even need to read
Right.
that one.
Can you imagine how fast I clicked on that?
Yeah, shit. Talk about clickbait. It's like, what's a what now? Do you have a sense of smell?
I know. Oh god. Oh yeah, it's just 2 big giant paragraphs. Okay. This happened almost 2 years ago. I was out of the country for a week. Oh, sorry. And came home to a new smell. So sorry. I forgot. Okay. It was very pungent, almost sickly sweet. I don't know what I assumed it to be from, but certainly not from my roommate's rotting body.
What the fuck?
Sorry. Yeah, that's rough. It just gets right out there. I'm so sorry. Trigger warning, right? The smell just got stronger as days went by, and I could hear her cat meowing from behind her locked door.
No.
I know, the cat. Yeah, I don't know. I called animal control first, and then my other roommates told me about a big argument they all had while I was still away. No one had heard from her or seen her since.
Fucking
Like,
break down the door. What are you, idiots?
big red flag. I don't know. Yeah, okay. I called 911 and the police came to break her door open. The smell got so much stronger. I heard the officers inside confirm what I had already begun to suspect. She died at least a full week before, probably more. Her last contact with anyone had been 10 days prior when she had left a plant and an apologetic note in front of one of our other roommates' doors.
Aww.
Anyway. Yeah, she died in her room with all her windows closed at the beginning of summer. I heard someone in the room say she had severely bloated from the decomposition process, but I couldn't bring myself to look into the room. Maybe it's because the anniversary of all this happening is coming up, but I can't stop thinking about all the different details of what happened that day and in the days that followed. More than anything, that smell haunts me every time I smell any strong odors. I spend a moment wondering if it's another dead body that had been overlooked and forgotten.
Gross.
Yeah, no, I'll leave it at that. There's an update, but I think that might give it away. Does that make? Oh no, I don't want to influence your Let's just what you one do think is real. I think I might have just made it so obvious.
I wanted to guess before that the second one was the one that was like the story and the other ones are true. Is that right?
The second one, because the second one was
The bridge? Is that the one that's made up?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
It's
was
really good though.
yes, that was the creepypasta. Or
Oh, yeah.
yeah, creepypasta. I found that on creepypasta.
It was
Yeah.
good. I
Not
liked that.
bad. But
No, those
also
were really good.
holy shit.
Yeah, the fuck.
Yeah.
And the first
Yeah.
one, oh, just creepy.
Yeah, the first one was oh yeah,
The
the weird
house.
man hanging around. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's fucking creepy. I hate those kind of ones, like somebody looking through windows. And
Yes.
I've told you before, being on the first floor, I'm always like creeped out. If like somebody
Yeah.
was looking through the window while we're recording or anything, ah, would be so fucking creeped out.
Oh, I know what you mean
Or
because
anything.
yeah, and then you're like people do walk by, there's a bus route. I'm
Yeah.
not triangulating. I won't get more specific, but like yeah.
But sometimes
I-
in the evening, like when you have lights on inside, you can't really
yeah.
see outside very well. So, yeah, you
Yeah.
know.
But they
It's
can maybe
creepy.
see you. It's like
Yeah.
don't change
Oh.
naked in front of the window.
Yeah. I'm happy I made sure when we were doing the renovations that my bedroom was going to be the one at the back of the house, not the one at the
Yeah.
front, and everything, because the other two bedrooms are at the front of the house. I'm like, I don't want either of those.
True, 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 true.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's so creepy.
They were some creepy ones. I like doing those. I think we should do that again. Whether
Yeah.
it be a semi-annual thing on Patreon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember I think I said, well, we're gonna do truths and a lie, and we hadn't done it in a while, so Kelsey was like, did you say like about
What even
ourselves? And I was like
is that? Yeah.
I was
I
like,
didn't
that's
remember what
fun
we had even
too.
done. And you're like, stories. And I was like, oh yeah. That was a thing we did once.
Right. Well, because yeah, people do play like two truths and a lie kind of game, but then yeah, ours was very much the creepy story edition. But I'm sure we could think of two truths and a lie about ourselves that maybe that is better suited for Patreon if we're gonna give out some of the crazier stories
Details.
that sound
Yeah.
like a lie.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that was fun. The other things we were gonna do was like maybe some games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have. Oh yeah, I had the top 10, a couple of top 10 lists to kind of guess that I thought might be fun, but I could see if our our guest judge wants to play. I think the game might be over.
Oh,
It got
okay.
very quiet. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but okay, I guess we lost.
Oh no.
Well, that just means they're up one in the series. We still have a chance to bring it back for the Stanley Cup. You never know.
Oh, okay. I'm not following, so.
So it's a top 10 list, but it's the 7 top serial killers from Britannica.com.
Mm.
Do you want me to just use the computer speaker? Can you hear?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
You should be
Yeah.
able to hear Kelsey.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
when she talks, I can hear.
Yeah. When I can get Gordo to settle down. Jesus.
Oh no, I can't let you see this. Okay, so I guess this is the top 7 serial killers according to Britannica.
Sure.
Damn.
It's hard because some of those ones are a little bit subjective. There was also one that was most infamous serial killers from Time magazine. I'm gonna say there's some overlap.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you think about kind of the most famous ones just over time, you could probably get some of them just based on that. So
Well, I'm supposed to guess at just what I think the top 7 are?
there's not a lot of like what the metrics they used for
We're not.
this one.
Well, I don't know.
Kind of the most famous. Just in
Jack the
general, that
Ripper?
you think are the most
That's
I
talked
think
about.
Jack the Ripper's got to be on there.
Jack the Ripper is on there.
Okay.
He's number 7.
Really? Only 7? Wow. In Britannica, too?
That's why this is
You
one.
say only 7, really? I don't even think he belongs on the list.
That's why I think
There's
some of these
far
lists
more
are
worse
more.
serial killers out there than Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, but like infamous.
Yeah, it's definitely
He
one of the
gets
more
talked about a lot.
subjective lists because,
Yeah.
like,
Well, then is H.H. Holmes on your list?
well, probably, but it's not like one of the ones he does where it's like the biggest cities in Canada and you can tell exactly. H.H. Holmes is also on the Britannica list. What number do you think he is if Jack the Ripper is 7?
Oh, he's probably number 6.
He's number 3, according
Okay.
to them.
And you probably have Jeffrey Dahmer on there and Ted Bundy.
See, Kelsey covered H.H. Holmes, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's probably one of the most prolific in Chicago. That's where he, had his little torture castle.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, what did they? Okay, in this one it says in all he copped to more than 30 murders, but they definitely couldn't definitively get him on that many.
Well, Ed Kemper should be
No.
on your list.
Yeah.
I remember that when you covered him. He's a pretty big one. I don't know if he was on.
Well, it's not a matter of whether how big he was or not. It's the fact of the matter if Ed Kemper never came forward and never became super cooperative and answered all the questions so candidly, they would never have the
Captured him.
profiling tools that they have today.
Yeah.
No. I think he
Yeah.
deserves a spot, just for how, exactly influential he was.
He's automatically on that list because he's the one that made it possible to be able to catch all the rest.
Yeah.
Help the
And
profiling.
I mean, let's face it, the cops didn't catch him. He turned himself in.
Yeah,
he
he
hung
called-
out
I
with
mean,
the cops.
Fine
Yeah,
enough. I mean, sure. After he killed his mom and his mom's friend and left them in his mom's house, I mean, sure, the cops are eventually going to put 2 and 2 together, especially because of his past. But the fact of the matter is that he turned himself in. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't pull him over. They didn't bust down no doors or nothing and do the big arrest. No. He phoned them up from a payphone and said, "Hi, I'm the guy that did it. I'm coming in."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
which is-
looking for me?
yeah. Similar to when
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are caught on like a small infraction or whatever, like a parking
Yeah.
ticket, like Bundy, and you're like, oh, okay, cool.
And he knew when he passed his test, when he picked up those 2 girls, and they wanted to go a certain way back to the university or the school or wherever he was driving them, and he knew in his head, he's like, nope, because if I go down that road,
Yeah,
that's the same road I took those other 2 girls, and then it's just
It'll
right
kill
down
'em.
that road, and I'll end up killing those 2. And he didn't take them down that road, and that was his little test, but he knew that he was still capable. And that's why
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, I can't be out here anymore.
yeah. He did have one of the best standings of himself as a killer for.
Yeah.
BTK is
A
probably
long
on
time.
your list.
I don't know that he made either of these lists, to be honest.
Really?
Dahmer, you
Oh.
mentioned.
Yeah.
What about
BTK is Dennis Rader, right?
Yeah.
No. Apparently,
No.
Time or Britannica didn't think he was big
Wow.
enough.
what about the Green River
Alright.
Killer?
Dahmer features on both. He's number 6 on Britannica, number 5 on Time which am I looking at? Well, I think that's from
No, the
Time
Green
too.
River Killer's not on there.
Sorry, I also have Time Magazine's top 10 unsolved crimes, which is also a little bit surprising, you might think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just doing Infamous. Okay.
Infamous. Yeah, it's tough. Okay, this one, Dr. Death. Does anybody know his real name or just that fucking what's his name played him? He did a really good job.
Joshua Jackson.
No.
Is it he who
Yes,
played him?
Jackson.
Yeah.
No, I don't pay attention to that.
All the,
Okay, so that was Harold Shipman.
Yeah. It's like the
it's
Angel
the-
of Mercy ones.
I almost don't want to count doctors,
Believed to
medical
have
staff,
killed
'cause it's
almost
too easy for them.
250 patients. I mean, he might call himself
Yeah.
Angel Mercy, but he's just killing people. He's from
Yeah.
Manchester, England. That
No,
was
they
him.
should be in their own category. They don't really deserve to be like serial killers. I mean, yes, I get it because they kill multiple people, but it's not like they go out and stalk people. They don't have to
No,
go
Yeah.
because
anywhere. They just go
their
to work and are fucking bullies or whatever, right?
that
Like
just
they
Yeah.
means their MO is to prey on the weak ones they have under their care. It's just they have a different method than some of the others.
I don't know. I don't think they deserve to be.
Well,
It
not
doesn't
all.
have
It's,
the same amount of like effort quite required.
Exactly,
but
right? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, but like when they have to try and categorize these crazy killers, they
Yeah.
all have their different motives and shit. I mean,
Like it's not like the
Like-
the interstate killer or the green or whatever, the Golden State killer or the
Yeah.
I-95 killer or the Green River killer. All these killers that went on for years killing people.
all the roads.
and they didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't catch them until technology caught up. Like the Green River killer. That guy got away with it for a long time, and they should have caught him right away because he went there.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
suspected him. They just didn't have the DNA evidence to put him down.
Well,
I mean, they
that's
did
often the
eventually catch him that
case,
way, but
yeah.
still.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. Like here in Canada, sometimes the only time they can catch people is using what they call that Mr. Big sting, where they like pretend to be a higher level criminal so that the guys will confess to them to get in with the gang. And it's quite
Yeah.
unorthodox, and a lot of places don't do that. But sometimes that's the only way they get them, like they get their
Yeah.
confession. And so I'm like, ugh.
Well, it doesn't even matter nowadays. The way this government works. Oh, yeah, you killed how many people? Whatever, you're out on bail.
Okay, you might know number 2, Kelsey, because you did a talk about a guy that had like quite a few murders when we talked about highest kill count, I think.
Oh, the
Sort of a
oh,
Dexter killer type of guy.
yeah.
maybe.
Was it like Pedro something?
Yes. Okay, is this the guy, Pedro Lopez?
Yeah.
Colombia, linked to more than 300 murders in native Colombia and Ecuador, and at least 1/3 of them were tribal women. Oh, crazy. I think that was the one. But maybe
I
it's just some
don't
other
know.
fucked up guy now that I'm saying it. It's like, after Lopez's arrest in 1980, police found the graves of more than 50 of his preteen victims. He was later convicted of murdering 110 girls in Ecuador and confessed to 240 more murders in Colombia and Peru. It's like a shit ton.
Yeah.
They called him the monster of the Andes.
I think so. Yeah, he had like mass graves. They'd find like 50 bodies at a time.
Jesus Christ. It's weird the ones they talk about being the most famous and they're just always like some fucking American white guy and not these guys that killed like
Yeah.
hundreds. It's like, what?
Well,
Okay.
Picton should be on that list, but I guess he's not American. He killed quite a few people, the old piggy farmer there.
That's true. We don't always
Yeah.
show up a lot on the American list. What do you think's number 1? Covers
I
the
don't
page.
even. I'm brain dead. I can't even think. Who haven't we talked about?
I just mentioned this one guy about how he got caught like on a parking ticket or something. I think it was.
He's not
I
on that
can't-
list.
Isn't that how they caught Bundy? Wasn't it like a routine traffic?
Yeah.
Something?
Oh, I wasn't thinking of him. Yeah, they caught him. Well, something like that. Some kind. That's the second time or whatever. Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
escape, but he was number 1 on the
Wow.
Britannica list, and he's also number 2 on the. I think I got it from Time Magazine. The other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Richard Ramirez, number 10. John Wayne
Night
Gacy.
Stalker.
Night Stalker. John Wayne Gacy featured the list, and someone I covered. A woman. You might
A
remember.
woman.
Yeah. She was played by Charlize Theron in a movie.
Oh, Fuck, what's
Yeah.
her name?
Come
Oh
on.
Eileen Warren.
Yes, Eileen Warnos. Very close.
Warnos, that's what it is.
And then, did we talk about H.H. Holmes? Because I know you covered him. He made number 7
Yeah.
on this list. Ooh, and also one who is unsolved, who we don't know the real name of. Number 4 on the time list.
So, Zodiac?
Yes, the cryptic one.
Yeah.
Well, I think they figured out. I think they know who that is now.
I feel like they cracked, what, one more cipher in the last
think
recent
so.
years? But who do they think it is? That I don't
You'd
know.
have to look it up. This was a couple years ago, I think. Because
Yeah.
they don't have a show about it no more. Like, just like they used to think that one of H.H. Holmes' relatives, he used to think that he was Jack the Ripper.
The Mudget guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching him on the history show. He talked about it a bit.
Well, I mean, the timelines make sense.
What?
He could have been there. Like, he was there. He could have been. It could have been. But they think it's some other guy. Anyway.
Well, didn't they encase him in concrete after he was buried?
Yeah. Yeah, because he didn't want people messing with his grave.
Oh, right. And they just honored that. Like, what the fuck? This one's a couple. I don't know if we've covered it. Number 9 was Fred and Rosemary West. I don't know if we know those ones.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I did the Lonely Hearts Killers.
Yeah.
And you did the Moors Killers, but that wasn't their name.
No.
I don't know who they are.
Surprised Israel Keys isn't on the list.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, do you want to take a shot at the Time Magazine's top 10 unsolved crimes?
Sure.
Again.
Some of them, I think,
kind of
probably
their
have been solved since.
I just
Unsolved, you don't know?
no, I don't watch enough of that stuff. It's not my thing.
Well, there's some overlap. Jack the Ripper. Technically
Yeah.
unsolved.
What about Zodiac? Is Zodiac on there too, technically?
Okay, yeah, and I think if I have this in the right order, Zodiac, they count it as number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
John Benet Ramsey, is she on there?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like number 8.
Then
Unless she's Katy Perry, then it's all solved. Like we talked about last episode.
Yeah.
I told how you laughed at that one so hard. It was it made me laugh.
Some of those are just ridiculous.
Oh, they are so funny.
yeah.
But it's funny how some of them came up in these top 10 lists that I was like one of the other top 10 lists I wrote down was from the Watch Mojo top 10 clone celebrities they talk about. Like the one. Yes.
Damn.
That's my fun one.
All right.
Oh no, we lost him. And he's going under a
That's
tunnel. Okay. Put it back in the freaking case, lazy.
I don't know where they put things. Listen, don't call me lazy. I'm not lazy. Butthole.
Dip out of the recording studio. Banned!
There you go.
Okay.
What about well, they had like recent developments about it, but what about Madeleine McCann? Is she on the unsolved one?
Oh, she wasn't on this unsolved list. No.
Okay. Well, they arrested
That's
a guy, so they think like that's been figured out.
Yeah, but as far as like most well-known ones, I probably would have put that above some of the ones that made like 8, 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying. Like I said, these lists are a little bit on the subjective side.
Right? Yeah.
There are definitely ones you could do with quantifiable evidence, but since we haven't done anything like this, I thought we would do something kind of up our alley.
All right. So she's not on there.
Yeah, okay. So we got Jack the Ripper was considered the number 1 unsolved on this list.
And you
And
said
then the
Zodiac. And then we have
Number
Company
3
Ramsey.
is
We said.
and number 3 I almost wouldn't think of as true crime almost because what is it with something that's like come up almost pop culture or like happens in the other in the entertainment industry and stuff like that, and so you almost don't think of it as like normal true crime because it's like, oh, it's a celebrity.
Is that like Tupac or the other
Yeah,
dude, the other rapper?
Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, that's the one they put as
Okay.
number 3. You're right. Yeah.
Huh. Who else? Who else?
Good guess.
I'm trying to think of all the episodes of BuzzFeed Unsolved that I've seen. Is the Ketty cabin murders on there? Is that on there?
Ooh. No, and I don't think I've heard of that either.
It is fucked up. It's so messed up.
Great.
Yeah.
No, there's
it's
one
one of
on
like
here
the
that-
first true crime
Okay.
cases I ever heard about. It's like crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the first one that Crimes and Consequences covered, and it was
Oh.
one of the first ones that BuzzFeed Unsolved ever covered as well.
Oh wow, so it's a little bit older.
Yeah, it's pretty old. It's like a couple families, like they're all these kids go on vacation and they're like camping in these little cabins in the woods, and then somebody takes an axe and murders them all. Like axe murdered like 11 kids or whatever, and like a couple of the parents, and it's never been solved. Like they have no idea who the fuck did it.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like
I
crazy.
don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Yeah.
Weird. Like that's horrific.
Yeah, and like they think that people in the town know what happened, but like nobody has ever said anything. Yeah.
And like sometimes they just don't have enough to charge people with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, if that's not on there.
No, but I'm gonna give you one that is because
Is it the Oh, I have to just say it before you say anything. The Black Dahlia? Is she on there?
She is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now you can tell me the other one. Because I was like, I don't want it to be Black Dahlia before I say it. Because I kept forgetting it.
No, that's a good one. Okay, I'll get to that one in a minute. This one, I think I remember hearing a similar one on 10ish, and I was like, I wouldn't have got this either because I wouldn't have considered it unsolved. And it's the Nicole Brown, Ron Goldman double murder. You know, as in like the OJ accused.
Oh.
And so because he got acquitted, I guess they can include it on the list, but I was like, I don't love that. So yeah, I would never have gotten that.
No.
But yes, they had they had the Black Dahlia at number 9, it looks like, on their particular list. Number 10, I get like, yes, I think this is the same list you might have used on one of the 10ish, because I remember them being like, the what? And I was like, I don't know. And it was called the Women of, it's a city in Mexico, Ciudad Juarez. And so I guess it's like a bunch of missing women from this one city.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, let me see.
Doesn't sound familiar to me.
Me neither. Okay, that's probably why I printed out a little bit on each of these, just to see, like, okay, so it's one snippet was like, it's sometimes called the City of the Lost Girls. Juarez is a poor Mexican border town where hundreds, some say thousands, of women have been raped, tortured, and then killed over the past decade. Yikes. Yeah, they make it seem like it's pretty well known, where I'm like, okay. It said that many of these women work in the town's numerous factories or live there because it is close to the U.S. border, where they can cross for jobs. And Amnesty International has urged Mexican authorities to make finding perpetrators a priority. But with an ever-intensifying drug war taking place in the country's poor neighborhoods and a government rife with corruption, little has been done to stop the assault on the women of Ciudad Juarez. Maricela Ortiz, the coordinator of the non-governmental organization Nuestras Hijas de Regreso a Casa, roughly translating to May Our Daughters Return Home, told the Latin American Herald Tribune on December 14th that the murders are largely a result of the toll on an eternal war between the drug trafficking mafias who are fighting to conquer the territory.
Damn.
Yeah, really sad. I kind
Yeah.
of wish that got more coverage, but maybe we should do a little digging into it someday.
Yeah.
Oif. And yes, the Black Dahlia was also in there, which, if anybody doesn't know, the blurb, famous murder case from January 15th, 47.
Yeah.
22-year-old actress Elizabeth Short found dead in Norton Avenue, but they just, most of us know, found her torso at first, so it was very, very hard to identify her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a rough one. Jeez. Just like to have to deface the body like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and we just like still don't know.
Yeah, they think it was that doctor, don't they? For the most part, he's like been the one suspect they've
Oh.
kind of talked about since the beginning.
Oh, it mentions one such account written by Steve Hodel, who implicated his own father, a Los Angeles doctor, as the Black Dahlia murderer. No charges were ever filed. Huh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know that it was like a doctor, but damn, very Jack the
Yeah,
Ripper.
he used to do like illegal abortions and stuff for celebrities, and I think
Oh.
and then he used to host like drug parties for like men and would invite all these women over and had like this secret room in his house supposedly. Yeah. It's like fucked.
Kinky room. No, but not cool.
What about, did they solve the Lady of the Dunes? Is that on there?
It is not on this list, but I think I'm familiar with that one.
Yeah, they had
they didn't know her identity yet, so that's why they gotta call her
whatever,
that.
didn't they? Wasn't she burned?
Huh?
Somebody was burned.
Somebody was burned. It's like, what is she saying over there, mumbling?
It's like the sand dunes. Isn't the Lady of the Dunes? They think she's the one that was in Jaws.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I do
As
like
an extra.
Yeah, I kind of, not that I enjoy, but the ones where they're like not even sure who the people are very intriguing. Yeah, and then they like think they piece it together, and you're like, well, okay, hopefully, because even just to give the person a name, even after they're dead, is something.
Yeah.
Whoa. No, that, let's see. We got most of that list of the Time magazine's top unsolved crimes. There's another one that's true in the true crime realm. Not a single person. It's a rash of poisonings.
The
Chicago
Tylenol
area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh damn, we are good. We should do more guessing games. Where
I
to do like what's that one where taboo? If they say the wrong word, you can't.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just on par tonight.
I just have seen a lot of the unsolved ones because of BuzzFeed Unsolved. So I'm like, what were all their episodes about? Just like running through the catalog.
Oh yeah, I love hate and unsolved. Honestly,
yeah. Sometimes it's infuriating.
Oh, for sure, and you know it is. The thing is, you know it is so infuriating and sad for the families, and that's what's just like, oh
yeah.
You're like, for me, I just want to know the answer, but then you can kind of put it down at the end of the day and be like, you know,
yeah, you forget about mystery. It probably in like a few weeks.
Yeah. Damn. So we are doing good. So we've gone through at least number 1, Jack the Ripper. Number 2, the Zodiac killings. Number 3, Tupac Shakur, and then Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
Number 4, they called the Tylenol poisonings, and then wedged in between that and the O.J. Nicole Brown Simpson murder, or whatever. Ron Goldman. Sorry, everyone always forgets about him. There is one that is for a hint, it's a famous poet writer that died.
Poet writer.
I don't know, someone who writes kind of some dark, spooky shit. Like
Edgar Allan Poe, was he murdered?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know that. I just guessed.
No, it's true. Apparently
Okay.
his death is unsolved. I was surprised.
Oh. Okay, interesting.
Here, let me find the blurb. Okay. It said the Raven author left New York City in 1849 bound for Richmond, but only made it as far as Baltimore, where a passerby noticed the delirious and incoherent writer slouched in front of a bar on October 3rd. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he died 4 days later. The local newspaper attributed his... I can't talk. Sorry. I'm giving it so many extra syllables. The local newspaper attributed his death to congestion of the brain, then
What?
a common euphemism for alcohol poisoning.
Oh, I was gonna say too many
Damn.
thoughts. His brain's constipated.
File that away. We might need that because that's an old-timey term that we might need to guess later on. If we guessed on another old-timey term podcast. Remember?
What did they say it was? Congestive.
Congestion of the brain. Honestly,
Congestion of
half
the
the things
brain.
they have to guess have to do with being drunk.
Okay.
You're in your cups. You're
Oh, shit.
out of your boots. You're 3 sheets to the wind. Like there's so
Okay,
many.
I would get your 3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah, but a lot of the old timey shit too. Apparently, it means like you're drunk or
You're plastered.
yeah, or dead or unlucky or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is really bizarre. So he kind of mysteriously died. Congestion of the brain, common euphemism for alcohol poisoning. But scholars later discovered that rumors of his drug and alcohol abuse were greatly exaggerated, especially by vindictive literary critics like Rufus Wilmot Griswold. He sounds like a evil wizard in Harry Potter. Grindelwald.
Yeah.
And it said the death certificate, if it ever existed, could not be found. So, fun fact: some historians believe Poe may have suffered from rabies, cholera, or syphilis.
Oh, I think I've heard the rabies thing before.
Oh, really? I was like, I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes people are just like syphilis, or like
Yeah.
some such thing. But because he turned up on the streets the same day as a citywide election, others argue that Poe fell victim to cooping, a fairly common practice back then in which corrupt politicians paid thugs to kidnap men, especially the homeless, drug them, disguise them, and drag them to polls all over the city or state.
Yeah, I've heard of that before.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember
Okay.
where.
It said this may at least explain why Poe turned up in Baltimore wearing clothes that weren't his.
Yeah,
So
fuck. Why have I heard of that before? Oh my god. I have
Did you
no
listen to
idea
a
why, but
podcast about like ballot whatever, and they're like, before we could do it electronically, they just dragged people there. No.
yeah. Oh. Yeah,
Oh my
why
God.
would I have ever heard of that before?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like super familiar to me. Cooping.
Yeah.
Like that is so old.
Because I've heard
That's an
that term and then I
old-fashioned
had heard of
term.
that before. Like,
That's weird.
damn. I'll have to try and figure out why I know that. Why do
Yeah,
I
I
know
don't
this?
know.
Where did I learn this fact?
Okay, did you learn it from reading
Reading.
reading a book? Because I learned everything from a random book or podcast. No.
I don't know.
because you don't read historical fiction, but you do read the one with the vampires. They must go back in time sometimes. The Brotherhood
Not
series.
really. Not a whole lot.
Oh.
Definitely not about human politics. They don't care about us. So,
I passed by their section when I was at the it was
mm.
at the Chapters or Indigo. It was an Indigo, I guess. Whatever. Here in
Try and get
Canada,
the
you
first
usually
one.
get
Come
Chapters.
on, get the first.
I'm trying because I know you told
Oh.
me I have to get the first one. I don't think I'd be able to find it on the library, which is why
Oh, okay.
I was trying to find the first books of the Will Trent series, which I can't get from the library because apparently, once you become a TV series, then there's like 30
Yeah.
holds on every copy or whatever. So I was looking for
Yeah.
a specific book, but then I was like, oh, there's so many other books I should buy. I hadn't been to a bookstore in so long. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Well, I told you before, you have
Yes.
your tablet thing. I logged into my Amazon Prime on there, didn't I? You can access all my books.
Oh,
I have all of them.
okay. That makes sense.
You get them for free, don't pay for them. Fuck.
No. Okay, yeah. I couldn't
There's
remember
too
that
many of them.
conversation. I
I'm
remember
only
Pat.
missing like 4 of the ones that are
Oh,
published or whatever. So there's
okay.
like 35 of them on my Kindle.
Jesus. Okay, no, that's kind of where I thought you had him because at one point, Pat, who drove me to the store, was like, "Does Kelsey have the books? Can she lend them?"
Yeah,
And I was like, "I
I
think
have them
maybe
on my.
Kindle."
Yeah, you can even
Yeah.
log into like I can access even the books that are on my Kindle. I can access from my laptop on my Amazon website. Yeah.
Oh, I remember you were telling me about that, and I was like, "She lost me," because I was like, "I need to open a book," and it was not just on the Kindle; it
Yeah,
was
but
on it
that's too
directly.
many. Don't buy them. Not that
No,
it's
I
not
don't.
worth it. It's just too much money.
Oh no, I've become like a total library girl now because like I was spending too much money when we worked close to the Chapters at the other location.
Yeah.
Our office was super close, like in the same strip mall as a Chapter. So I just buy a book, but then it's like, yeah, you might buy one a paycheck. It's like 20 fucking dollars, $30 for a new
Yeah.
book, and you might not buy another one. And then like I'd be like, I have nothing to read, and so I'm like, I gotta go back to like going to the library. Like when I was a kid,
This
I
you'll
like to read a lot.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't some parts I skip because I've read through it all before, so I don't know. Sometimes I can reread like most of the 30 books or enough to like
Oh
recap the whole
yeah.
series in like a week basically because I'll go through like 2 a day because I just skip like so much certain amount of it.
Yeah, so you'll even give it a reread. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah.
I buy the books I'm gonna reread. I have all the Outlanders, of
Yeah.
course.
I've read through almost all of the books at least 3 times.
Oh, excuse me.
Like some of
Okay.
them I've read 4 or 5 times.
And not all skim reading, like you say.
Some parts of it, um,
No, I skim
it's
read
less like,
anytime there's like a little too much like description. That's
yeah.
where my mind blanks
Certain
already.
certain books, one of the books I've only read like maybe twice because I'm like, this is not my favorite, and I know not much happens.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
skip the whole book. But
Yeah. Oh, totally. Oh yeah. There's some
yeah.
things you don't want to go through on a rewatch, reread.
Yeah. I'm just gearing up because they're gonna start casting soon in the next few months. And then
Oh, for a
she's
TV
got a
version?
yeah, it's like some like romance, whatever streaming website has done it. They're doing a TV
Oh,
series. They're gonna do 5 episodes per book, she announced. And they're doing at least the first
cool.
season, so it's gonna be at least the first 2 books, I think.
Yeah.
And then yeah, she said her next like event convention thing she does is coming up in like September and she wants to have at least some of the cast there. So like they're hoping to be cast and
Ooh.
like that they'll be
Yeah.
available starting there. So yeah, a lot of
Oh
the
yeah.
stuff I'm a part of are people throwing up who they want like to be cast and it's always like
Sure.
the A-list celebrities and you're like, yeah, they're not signing on for this shit. Like they need nobodies basically. Um
Which one I picked from the
yeah.
Vanguard Diaries again? They had some hot ones.
They couldn't, because you know what? Most of these guys are like, they're crazy soldiers, and they're
Yeah.
like different than the regular aristocratic vampires that they have in their society. So they're like warriors. So they're like 6'6" and 300 pounds. Like,
Nice.
yeah, so that's not an everyday person you run across. So
No.
yeah, it's gonna be harder
Yeah.
for them to
They do-
cast. They basically all have to look like fucking Jason Momoa and The Rock. Like,
Yeah. Well, I'd rather that than an army of Edward Cullens. I mean.
yeah, absolutely not. Maybe the one lawyer that they have, can like be a spindly little
Lawyer.
dude, but the rest of them, no.
Oh, okay.
They're like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did read that. I finished that book. I showed you that library book where it was like, oh, J.R. Wood,
Yeah.
that's the series. And she wasn't
Like,
bad.
how did she have time to read that?
To read books. I don't know.
Yeah.
That book was okay. It was pretty good. It was a little heavier, I would say, on the lore, a little lighter on the lusty romance than some of the other, like the Immortals After Dark ones I read or whatever. But it was okay. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty fun.
Did we
Maybe I-
guess all of them? We got all of them? Yeah.
That was on my true crime shit. I think, yeah.
Oh yeah.
'cause
I did a good job.
I thought you really did. I think 'cause,
Yeah.
yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. Oh, on the unsolved list, the
Yeah.
only one, it was similar to the Women of the Mexican City one that I had not heard of, only this one I have heard of. It's the
Oh, okay.
disembodied feet that wash up in the Salish Sea area. Did we not just kind
Okay.
of mention this or something?
Yeah, we did. We talked about them. Oh frick, what we were talking about washing up. You were talking about
I was talking about something.
banana, something that washed ashore. Bananas, I think.
Oh, yeah,
And
there
then,
was
like,
the
we were
chipwreck, and then there was
chips.
bananas and dolls
And then we started
other
talking about,
things.
well, that's better than feet. So-
And it was funny that you had mentioned that because I had heard a recent episode of Sinisterhood do it where they were like, yeah, it's still kind of mysterious, even though it's still like
Yeah.
somewhat explainable. It's still kind of weird. Like I was like, yeah, it's like, you know, like real people missing feet. Anyway, I was like,
Yeah, because I
what the
think they've talked
hell?
about, they think some of the foams and stuff in the shoes make it more buoyant. So when the ankle bone like disintegrates
Right.
enough, the running shoe will like bring it up to the surface, and then
So
it
say you're in the
gets,
water because you jumped or fell or whatever, and then your
yeah,
body's decomposing, like your foot might
yeah. That's why
conceivably
like
end up there in the shoe.
that's why
Yeah.
they don't really get like hands and stuff, because like your wrist is similar
Right.
to your ankle. Like that's why they don't really get hands that wash up ashore. It's mostly feet because of the
Which
shoes are like
makes
buoyant and it brings
sense
it
to
to the surface.
me. But
Yeah.
also why all the feet in this one area?
Yeah.
Like why so many body parts in the water in general?
Yeah,
'Cause
and
it just
who's
doesn't.
yeah,
Yeah.
are kids still swimming in that water? Like how many feet have they found? Like that's just I wouldn't
I
want
mean,
to go
this is
near that
all
water.
like the southern coast of like British Columbia,
You'd be
in
like
between there and
swimming
like
in the sea, and you'd be, if you open your eyes
yeah.
underwater, you're just like
No.
decomposing body parts like mixed with water. I don't know.
It is. Well, it's like yeah, northern Washington, that whole coast. I don't know, the left
Damn.
coast, as they called it on Dark
left.
Pretend the other day.
The earth is round, Alana. There is no left.
No, but it does make
Comes
me
back
sad because some
around.
people like their kids were missing, and then they only wait. If the one person hadn't stopped on the beach and like found that shoe, they would never would have
Yeah.
known like what even happened to their kid. Like they still don't really know. You know, that part makes me feel really shitty.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have a need to end it on a bummer because that's what I'm like. No, it's just that's no, but that's the shitty
That's
side of it,
Alana.
though. You
Big
know.
bummer.
I know. I get where I'm like I'm laughing, and then I'm like, oh no, I don't seem respectful enough. But like you try so
Yeah.
hard, right? It's like ugh, whatever.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Okay. Do you want to hear very quickly the list of the top clones? I won't even make you guess, but it was
Okay, yeah, just read the list. I gotta know. Is Avril? Avril's gotta be number one.
because it was the BuzzFeed
like-
one. I'm like, or not BuzzFeed. Yeah,
She's like the first one of the only ones I've ever really constantly heard about.
and it's always on there. Oh,
Yeah.
hang on, I wrote it on. Oh, here it is. Okay, it was from a Watch Mojo list, which I was like, ha ha ha, Pat, I'm watching these for research. You just watch them for fun.
Yeah,
But
I watch Mojo sometimes.
yeah, there's some fun like movie lists and stuff.
I
You'll be
watch the
like,
movie ones
horror
mostly. It'll be
movie.
like horror
Yeah.
movies with surprise endings. It's like,
Exactly.
yes, tell me all the movies with a surprise ending, and then I go and watch it, and then it'll be like, oh, I'm expecting a surprise ending this whole time.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, Pat's on that. Like he loves that on his algorithm.
Yeah.
Oh, it started number 10 was Kanye West.
Oh God, yeah.
Clues. Is he taller now? And the one lyric where he said, "Watch how they clone me."
Damn.
I just did a bunch of hand gestures, like I know that.
Yeah,
I'm
looked like you
rapping.
tried to do the wave. You're like,
Yeah, I know what Kanye West sounds like. Okay, no. Oh,
I do.
number 9.
I'm sad to say I do like some of his songs, but
Yeah, I think people like his songs more than they like him.
yeah, it was mostly pre Kardashian Kanye. I feel like they just fucked him right up.
None of it's good.
Yeah.
Number 9, from Disney to Dirty, it's Miley Cyrus.
Oh, okay.
And they said the theory was that Disney killed her, dumped her in the desert, and replaced her with a less brash, more palatable Disney version once she started to get, I don't know, sexy.
Really?
Whatever.
And then what? They dug it back up, and then she had that dance with,
Robin Thicke.
yeah.
He's-
They found
Okay.
her. They dug up her body in the desert, and they're like, "Sorry, Miley, you're old enough now. We need you back."
Okay, I did have written down all grown up and grinded on Robin Thicke, but then I just like was like, oh, do I go there?
Yes, we do.
I don't mind him on Masked Singer. He's been not problematic on that, but yeah, I don't know. Then they were also like, okay, she went from doing songs like Wrecking Ball to like, then they must have replaced her, and then she was doing songs like the Flowers one she has, which is like,
Yeah.
I can buy myself flowers. I'm like, that's just a good song. She's just having like
Yeah.
resurgence and growing as an artist.
They play a couple of her songs on my work playlist now. Yeah, they update it like once a month. Yeah, and if we have no control over it. Yeah.
Must be fun. No.
Most of the time you can just tune it out.
True. You have one earbud in. You're like, this is my hearing aid.
I wish. Yeah.
Okay, this guy came up in our clone segment, and I said I'd never heard of him. And
Oh,
no,
you never heard of
Gucci
him?
guy.
Oh,
Gucci Mane. I thought you said you'd heard of him because I was like, these guys have
I've heard of
names that
the
I don't recognize
name.
at all.
Like, but I don't know what he looks like or any of the songs. But I've heard the
okay.
name before.
They said he came out of jail differently after he went in for possession of a firearm.
Yeah,
He
jail
looked
changes a
different.
person.
He was more jacked.
He went to the gym.
And he played it up. He was changed. He had a new diet. Yeah, a new physique, a fashion sense, whatever.
Came out of jail with a fashion sense? That's weird.
I don't know. Apparently
Maybe
his
he was
video called
replaced.
Wasted. Yeah, he has a video features clones. I don't know. Maybe think of that other guy that was like had the song called Cloned Rappers or whatever.
Weird.
Ooh, 7 is a political adjacent celebrity from the Trump administration. Melanie / Melania.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Should have
I
seen that
remember
one
this.
coming.
Yeah. That she wasn't in the public eye, her first lady duties, or yeah, whatever. And they're like, oh, she looks different. She looks smaller next to Trump here. I'm like, okay, but people have heels that they can wear.
Yeah, and she also gets like Botox and shit.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure she does not look the same as when she started. Yeah. Oh, and because he misspelled her name as Melanie. That's when we started calling this Melanie. I worked with Melania just for fun. So we were like, oh. Okay, this one I didn't know. Number 6 was Jamie Foxx.
Really?
So,
Okay.
yeah, apparently he kind of went away from the spotlight with sort of a mysterious illness around April of last year. And because he was out of the
Oh,
spotlight, they
yeah.
were like, and he poked fun at it at the Critics' Choice Awards, and he denied rumors he was paralyzed, but said he went to hell and back. So, but he did have something he went through, but he wouldn't say.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever said, but if we've learned anything recently, it's celebrities can have cancer and get terminal diagnosis too, so why don't you leave them alone? Like,
Oh, I know, exactly. No, I'm totally with that one. That's why I'm not going to spend much time. I'm like, we'll just go through these. And the next was Beyonce, and then Eminem.
okay,
And then
yeah,
poor
yeah.
old Britney Spears, who I just did not want to lambaste anymore in any of my
Yeah.
segments. She has a lot of conspiracies about her and how, oh, she was going off the rails to, distract the CIA from other shit. And it's like, oh my God, okay, sure. That's why they were like, why don't you go and shave your head and that'll take the heat off us.
Yeah.
She's like, sure. Why don't I flash my pussy while I'm at it? Okay, great.
Yeah. Why don't I forget to wear underwear and get out of limos this week?
Which I think of every time I get out of a car
Yes.
in a skirt now. Oh my God.
Yep. 100%.
Oh, Brittany, we love you. Number 2, having to do with your celeb conspiracy. It's
Paul.
McCartney.
Paul is dead.
Paul is dead, and according to most other people, so is poor Avril Lavigne. And I just wish we could let all of those rumors just die.
Yeah.
They're just not that creative. I don't know.
Yeah, and 90% of the time there's not a lot of like evidence, even made up evidence that people use. So it's like, really? Like, you've spent this much time in this weird conspiracy world where you think this happened, and there's like, you have like 2 pieces of evidence in this person's entire life.
Yeah, this is what gets traction in the rumor world. It's like, do we have to start a weird rumor to get that famous? Because I don't want to stoop that low. But if I have to start a weird rumor just about Kelsey, I'll do it.
No, don't.
She's part of the Illuminati. Oh my God, it's like, oh no, I shouldn't say it, but Wine and Crime, they used to tease and say Kenyon voted for Trump, but
oh yeah.
Anyway, that whole
I have a Gordo, and he just laid in front of me like a cute boy. Look at him.
It has a little tongue.
He's like, hi.
Hi, Cryptic cutie. He's hanging on very well. Wow, thank him for celebrating our 150th with us. With us. We have to do it with one of our mascots. I mean, it's only appropriate.
Yeah.
And my dog fled the room.
Now my face is covered in fur. Ah, awful.
It's okay. I have to go pee. We'll let them go.
Okay. Wow.
Tune into Patreon for more shenanigans. I will maybe bring my Am I the Asshole case or whatever the hell else I saved on Reddit for this. If it didn't go too long.
Yeah. And we talked about it last week, but in case you missed it, we are taking the month of June off. So no regular episodes. We will be working on stuff behind the scenes, and we'll be back in July. And if you miss us a whole bunch, you can join our Patreon, and there's plenty of episodes to keep you entertained until we're back.
That's right. Hundreds of bonus hours.
Yeah.
For less than the price of a cup of overpriced coffee. But yeah. And we will let you know if we go anywhere else in the meantime. Like we might do a guest spot or two while we're, catching up in the background. So that's always fun also.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. We'll post you on our feed if that happens. And keep it cryptic.
Yeah. Bye.
Have a good month. Thank you for listening to Castles and Cryptids. We love all our listeners and appreciate every subscriber, every new review, every listen, rate, and download. Our music is by Kobe Off Air, and our cover art is by Antonio Garcia. We are also a proud member of Darkcast Network, where you can find the best and spookiest of all indie podcasts. Follow us on social media, where we are at Castles and Cryptids on mostly all of the things, now including TikTok. Check out our bonus content on Patreon. Cryptid clashes, video minisodes of your host making asses of themselves, Ask Me Anything, quizzes, other special episodes, and more. Starting at just $2 a month, you can get 1 to 2 extra episodes, depending on your level. We produce, edit, and research everything ourselves, and any support you can lend helps us to keep it cryptic.